Hey guys, welcome to episode number 438. Today is Tuesday, so I have another tank tip for you. And today I wanted to talk about staying curious and staying inventive in the fish room through scavenging. Sometimes my best ideas come from bits and pieces that I've collected over the years, and it doesn't necessarily need to be something that's expensive. Doesn't necessarily need to be something that I go out and buy. Sometimes it's something that I build. And in order to build stuff, you need a lot of parts on hand so that you can sort of tinker and put things together and rearrange things until it makes something that you can use. And I feel like, to a certain extent, this is a lost art, and it's something that a lot of people don't practice because it's a lot easier to just throw stuff away and buy new stuff. But here is an old spent filter cartridge that I just changed, and this has a couple different pieces to it that you can scavenge and you can hold on to and might be useful in the future. So they have rubber gaskets at the top and the bottom, so you can just pull those right off and you can save those for future projects. This might fit inside of some sort of PVC project where you need to create a seal, and it's something that's definitely worth keeping around, especially if you buy a new one of these and you lose your rubber seal. You're going to need another one, but it's also good to have on hand for different ideas and different projects. Another piece are these end caps here on both ends, and you can see this is something that I put together for no reason other than to see how things work and how things connect. The two black ends there are from a cartridge similar to this, and what I did was I took a piece of screen material like you see here for this overflow, and all I did was I just welded or glued those end caps to this screen, and all of a sudden I've created a chamber that I could use for an overflow, I could use for a return, I could use for a fry guard. I might be able to use it for like an uplift siphon tube vacuum project. There's a whole bunch of different ways I could use this, but I needed to know that these pieces could go together in this way before I could take the next step and implement it and actually use it in a project. So this doesn't have a purpose per se, other than to know that these pieces can be assembled in this way for future uses. I think this is a 3/4 inch PVC pipe, and as you can see, it fits real snug right there, and that's something that I could definitely utilize in the future. It looks super clean, super compact, and I'm sure I can find multiple uses for something like this in future projects, in future videos. Hopefully you seeing this might inspire you to come up with ideas as well. And that's why I like to keep things around. I like to scavenge and have things on hand in the fish room. It makes DIY projects a heck of a lot easier. And you guys know I'm in the process of setting up this aquarium rack. I'll have an update on this tomorrow in my Wednesday video. But these are the Marina breeder boxes. This is a small one, and this is probably like $8 or $10 online. And this is great for capturing fry. It's great for keeping fry on the side of your aquarium. But I just sort of got to thinking, well, what's a cheaper way of doing this? Is there a cheaper way of doing this? If I was to do this again, or I didn't have a whole bunch of these laying around, what could I use to keep fish? Specifically, what might be a good betta fish container? I know people love their betta fish, and I just sort of had this milk jug that I was about to throw out, and I saw on, I think it was a Facebook video somewhere, probably in Thailand or something like that, they were breeding bettas, and they had a whole bunch of glass jars, and in the glass jars there was sort of this slit cut in the side, and that was the overflow for those jars. So they could pump fresh water into those jars, and the water would overflow out of the slit in the side, and the jar would always be topped off with fresh water. So I thought, all right, well, what if I take a milk jug? I mean, obviously this isn't see-through, so you wouldn't be able to see the fish, but I'm sure there are plenty of other jugs and jars, orange juice bottles, whatever else, plenty of other things out there that are see-through. And so what I did was I just cut the top off, cut a little slit in the side, and now I can place this in something like my gutter system. And if I was to just add a drip of water to that, then the water would just overflow here into the gutter, into the drain system. So something like that is cheap, it's free, it's easy to do, and it's something that could save you money over buying something similar to this. Anyways, guys, those are just two really simple examples of what I'm talking about here. But I think it's really important to stay curious and stay inventive with the things that you're doing before you necessarily go out and buy something that might be really expensive, like an overflow or like a breeder box. There's plenty of different ways that you can come up with alternatives to those things, as long as you have the materials and the supplies on hand to do so. All it takes is a little curiosity and a little inventiveness, and you can come up with plenty of solutions to the problems you're facing in your fish room. Anyways, guys, I hope that gives you a little insight into my thought process when I'm playing around in the fish room. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.